Alright, you should have this in the right file now, positioned this way, saved the right way, so it's 28-6-45. 3D modeling is where we're at, so I'm ready to go ahead and go to layout. Delete that viewport that's there, go ahead and go to layout here, base, model space, and this is exactly how you want to lay this thing out. Right click, enter. You want the length of the part to be the length of the page, small view to the right, top view right there, like this. We're good. We can actually project off of this one if we want. I meant to do that a second ago. Right click and enter. So we got that. So I'm going to go in here and click annotate, and I'll put center points on here. Center points right there. I'll go ahead and do center lines between these two here. Do center lines again between these two here. So it keeps those lined up. Do center lines here and here. I'll once again do center lines between these two. So, oops, I messed up completely, so I'll just go ahead and delete that one. I'm going to do a center line that goes between this one and this one. Right there. Alright, so let's see what happens. We should be able to type in LT scale, like we did before. Put in a scale of 0.5, and doesn't look like it changed any. LT scale, 0.25. Changes a little bit. That's a little bit much, but it'll do the job. I actually don't like what it did on there on that one, so we'll change that back. LT scale, and let's change it to 0.375 and see what happens. That makes it look like we want it to look there, so that's good. All right, so we're good on that part, right? So now we're ready to start dimensioning. We want to put dimension where the things are dominant. So we'll go ahead and put this hole right here. That hole goes through right there. So I'm going to change that to space over and type through. Oops, all caps. Oops, I messed it up. There we go, through. I'll put this one, a dimension on this part right here. Oops. Dimension. This right here, that arc, that radius is that. We don't need to do anything other than this because it tells us how wide the part is there by that radius. Oh, we do want to put where to locate that right there. So we might put a dimension on that goes from here to here. So now that locates the center of that hole, which is really important to us, which is something we want to do for sure. All right. When we go back here, that center of that hole is located. We already know what the height of that is, so we don't need to worry about height over here. We can come back in here and put a dimension on that tells us what that center is right there. We'll put a dimension on that goes to this arc. Oops, I messed up. Delete that. Delete this. Delete this. We don't want that to be an arc. Why did it do that? I want to dimension this shape. That's a diameter. And I want that to be space over, and I want that to be through also. We'll dimension this arc right here. And that's that one. Do a dimension that goes from this end point right here. Dimension from that end point to this point right here. So now we know what the entire length is. We don't need to do an overall length. We could. It probably would be okay, but we don't need to. It's a 5 inches long there. So we've got that. So then the last thing we're going to do is figure out how to dimension the thickness of each of these parts, and you do that on the view where this is dominant. So we'll put that right there, and we'll put one down here for this. And that should be it. That should cover the whole piece. Very good. Double click your mouse wheel, save as, and then go ahead and print it.